welcome. We are so excited that you guys are here with us. We have got people signing in from all over the world to see this. This is an exciting time. I'm Mike Mehmet. This is my beautiful wife, Fiona, and we're here just to kind of share with you just the excitement and the things going on here in Portugal with Young Life. You guys check in. Say hi to us. We can see in the chats. If you have questions, put those questions in the chats. We'll be able to see them. We'll try to answer as many of them as possible as we can as we go through the time. Hey, in the next 35 minutes, you are going to be treated to some of the greatest things that are going on here in Portugal. You will hear from staff people. You'll hear from kids. You'll hear from leaders. You'll hear from our committee. You're going to hear all kinds of things that are exciting about what's going on here in Portugal. So grab your coffee, grab your lunch, grab your dinner, wherever you're signing in from. Hey, take a look. And we're going to start with this. We want to start by kind of sharing what Young Life or what the spiritual life is like in Portugal. And we were trying to figure out a way. And last week we were cleaning up the Young Life house here in Portugal, and we came across a VHS tape. And so we decided, well, we're just going to show this VHS tape. And you got to forgive us because the quality is not that great, because we had to actually go get a VCR out of the dumpster out back to be able to show this tape. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to show this tape, and this will kind of give you a background of what the spiritual life here in Portugal is. And this is from this well-known doctor here in Portugal. We'll run that tape.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Hello, my name is Dr. Glima, and I'm here to talk about one of my favorite subjects, Portugal. And today, we're focusing on the spirituality and the spiritual journey of this great nation that is Portugal. Portugal is one of the oldest countries in Europe, making Lisbon one of the oldest cities in Western Europe. Portugal has a great history of travelers who got into boats and crossed oceans, taking tea to our friends up north, the British, and taking guns to our friends in the east, the Japanese. But also the ukulele, the most beautiful instrument, making the whole world a better place and making us all appreciate rainbows more. With the vast history of kings and queens and many saints that Portugal has had, our relationship with the church has been one of brotherhood and unity up until the modern history. With the rise of dictatorships across Europe, Portugal was no different. There was a big man called Antonio Salazar who rose to power and created the Estado Novo, which is the Portuguese dictatorship that started in 1933. And Salazar used his own morals and oppressed the people of Portugal, making the church, the Catholic Church, its official religion, amongst many other things. With the fall of Salazar, like I said, in 1975, there has been a pushback against religion altogether. And officially, Portugal has no religion. And through the times and the rise of secularism, the youth in Portugal has been more and more against the church. Now, only a few families go to Catholic Church, being a very small percentage, and some say less than 1% would consider themselves Protestant Christians. And with that creates a culture against the church and against spirituality, making the youth very much against it without knowing why. And that, my friends, is where Young Life comes in. We take in count the whole relationship of Portugal and the church, and we make Christ known again. And that, my friends, is a little bit of the history of Portugal and why it's so necessary to have Christ and hope and love known again. I'm Dr. Lima. Thank you so much.
As you can see, the work of Young Life here in Portugal is very important. And it's one of those things that I think people have asked me what the biggest shock of moving to Portugal was, and talking a lot about the small percentages of Christians that actually live here until you get here and realize that that's true. And most of our kids face this every day, both our international kids and our national kids. And that's where Young Life it comes in and is very important. We've asked Ken Best to share a little bit about the history of Young Life, because Young Life has been here for a few years. And so we're going to go to Ken Best, and we're going to ask him to share a little bit about the history of Young Life here in Portugal.
Hello there. My name's Ken Best. I'm an American living here in beautiful Portugal. And I just want to tell you a little bit about the history of Young Life here in Portugal. I'm the chairperson of our local committee. And I've been involved with the Committee of Young Life for about 15 years. Although Young Life has been around the world for about 80 years, I think, it's been here just about 20. And I remember when they first got started with the first Young Life missionaries that came here with the idea and the dream of starting up Young Life. Billy Boyle and Chad Edwards and their wives, they came here with a dream, starting from nothing, to build up this ministry. And they did. They built it up. They built up a great community here. They got involved in some of the schools and built up a great committee and staff. Started the next director, Sarah Gamble, who was here, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, something like that, really wanted to take it to the next level and get us into the Portuguese schools, the Portuguese community too. And she did. We got it into some Portuguese high schools. She had a dream of starting up regular summer camp, a Young Life camp, which we call Surf Camp, which has just been a huge, successful part of what we do. Again, with our next director, Ariel Putnam, and then Katia Pinheiro, just both of them just expanding and making us more of a real part of the school communities here and building things up. And that brings us up to just about 9 months ago when Mike and Fiona got here. And but I think the best part about what's going on here, my favorite thing about Young Life, is not just seeing all the numbers and the years and the history and everything, but seeing individual lives, kids that I've known, friends of my kids, my own kids, who have been impacted, whose lives have been changed. In many cases, they've been saved through Young Life, but they've all been loved and influenced and helped through this ministry. So I'm really blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah, what a rich history Young Life does have. But one of the exciting things is, like Ken said, we have been here about 8 or 9 months. And a lot of the time we've been here, and we all know it's a kind of a global pandemic. And so a lot of our time we spent in our apartment. But that has not stopped us. We have been doing a lot of planning and working. In fact, we finished training 8 brand new leaders that are going to be plugging into kids' lives real quickly. And so we're excited about that. We're also excited about the future and the idea that international kids, reaching international kids here that are here for a season maybe, or through high school, most of them don't stay. So we have an opportunity to reach the world and reach Portugal and change Portugal through the ministry of Young Life. And so we again asked Ken, we're going to go back to Ken. He's going to share a little bit about how he sees the future of Young Life here in Portugal.
Recently, our committee and our staff, under the leadership of Mike Mehmet, have been making a lot of plans for the next 1, 3, and 10 years for this ministry, and it's really exciting. I've been in the ministry long enough to see how dreams can become reality, and how even big dreams can become really exciting realities. And so we have a lot of big things over the next long-term and small-term steps that we want to take to get there, including we would like to expand Young Life Portugal to other areas other than Lisbon. That's a big project. We'd like to see new areas open up so that we can impact teenagers in more areas of the country. We would like to see our camp expand to be even more impactful than it is now, which is probably one of the most impactful things that we do in the lives of kids. And we'd like to see that grow. We would like to see more and more schools in the area we are now be touched. And so we're trying to make more and more contacts and get more involved with other ministries we can partner with, other schools. We're trying to get to know more school teachers and school directors, and certainly trying to grow up our staff and our volunteer team. We've had a lot of success already in building up a new generation of volunteers working for us. So I want to encourage you who are listening to consider how you could be partnering with us as well. We need sustained, regular, faithful prayer for this to work, that's for sure. And we need funds for a lot of the projects we want to do, for our staff to be here. It's all just by the funding and donations of private donors, so we ask you to consider that. And who knows, maybe God's calling you in some other capacity to come over in Portugal and work with us.
Oh, we're back.
I think Young Life is a really cool place to kind of come and hang out with people my age who are also Christians, because especially here in Portugal and in my school, I'm probably the only Christian, so it's a good place to study the Word of God and get to know God better.
Para mim, a Young Life é como se fosse uma segunda família, que podemos partilhar todos os nossos problemas e também as nossas vitórias. Eu considero a Young Life uma segunda família também porque desde pequena que estou cá e desde pequena que partilho a minha vida com eles e até hoje têm-me ajudado sempre.
A Young Life para mim é um sítio onde podemos ser só nós próprios e partilharmos tudo o que nós pensamos, as nossas opiniões, as nossas dúvidas, e podemos mesmo ser sinceros em qualquer coisa que pensamos e vamos sempre esclarecer qualquer dúvida que nós temos e vão sempre nos ajudar na nossa caminhada com Deus.
Eu descrevo a Young Life como um sítio onde eu posso ser eu próprio e um sítio onde posso partilhar sobre a minha vida, o que sinto, e também onde posso estar com pessoas que partilham a minha fé.
I'm one of the only Christians, if not the only Christian in my school, so I'm challenged and tempted every day to do ungodly things, and Young Life has helped me to get to know God better.
Eu tinha pequenas perguntas, às vezes um bocado estúpidas, mas que ao meter essas perguntas na Young Life e os líderes responderem a essas perguntas foi algo muito importante para mim, porque de certa maneira consegui ver Deus de outra perspectiva e começar a ver a vida de outra maneira.
Para mim, a Young Life significa família, porque me acolheram no momento que eu mais precisava, no momento que eu era uma imigrante aqui em Portugal, recém-chegada, perdida, não tinha ninguém para conseguir segurar na mão e seguir a vida. E foi na Young Life que eu encontrei esse refúgio, encontrei esse abraço e essa família. Me senti adotada, porque desde então toda semana eu frequentava a Young Life. E tanto na questão social foi fundamental para o meu desenvolvimento, para eu conhecer, para eu fazer amizades que eu tenho certeza que vão durar para o resto da vida, como principalmente para minha fé. Foi a Young Life que me manteve firme com Deus desde sempre e nunca deixou eu me desviar do caminho.
A Young Life ajudou-me bastante a perder o medo de falar com os meus amigos sobre Deus e também ajudou-me a querer ter um relacionamento com Ele.
Eu sempre nasci numa família cristã e considerava-me bastante próxima de Deus, mas depois de entrar na Young Life apercebi-me que ainda tinha muita coisa para aprender e a Young Life foi basicamente isso, foi um apoio adicional à minha vida, onde podia crescer ainda mais na minha vida com Deus.
Depois de ter recebido o convite para fazer o treino, para me tornar uma líder da Young Life, eu posso dizer que a minha maior ansiedade é eu poder retribuir para a Young Life tudo que a Young Life fez para mim. Retribuir para os jovens que vão chegar todo o amor e todo o carinho que me deram quando eu cheguei aqui como uma jovem perdidinha na vida. E ansiosa para ver o que Deus vai fazer com a Young Life em Portugal.
Para mim, o meu objetivo número 1 em querer ser líder era poder atingir a vida de pelo menos uma criança como os meus líderes atingiram a minha, poder ser alguém em quem podem confiar, falar, além de poder ajudá-los, tentar ajudá-los em crescer na sua vida com Deus também.
Hey there, I'm Guy, and I'm DGL/student staff, and I love Jesus, and I love teenagers, and I'm really in love with Young Life and its mission for Portugal. I'm not Portuguese. I was born in Brazil, and then I moved here, and for several years I was out partying, drinking, looking for a place where I could belong. Until when I was 12, I found out about Young Life through my cousin, and I held on to it. I found a place where I belonged, where people cared about me. And it was one of the first places I ever found where people really saw the real me, and they loved me without judging. And once I found that, I held on to it, and once I found out what it was really about, and I gave my life to Christ. And I decided to start this journey where I am still today. And it's been a very long and very hard, but very worth it. And going out and being in the streets of Portugal, talking to teenagers, I see so much hopelessness, and I see so much despair, and so much kids like me who are looking for a place to belong, a place where they can be themselves, where they don't have to fake it or be someone else, really. And being able to show the truth of Christ to them is why I'm still here, is giving them the most wonderful gift that ever existed, which is the love and the hope and the faith there is in Christ, to teenagers who desperately want it. And being in Portugal has not always been easy, like I said. I've had many people, many leaders, many people who I loved and loved working with come and go. And when I found out that Mike and Fiona were heading over here, I was really hopeful, but I was skeptical, because people come here and sometimes, most of the time, they leave. But once I met them and I saw their heart and how much they love teenagers and how much they're falling in love with this country, I knew that it was real, and I knew that he's here to stay. So I'm really thankful that he's here, and I'm so excited for what the Lord will do with our team and through his leadership. Reaching out like we never did before, going out, reaching the kids that don't care about Christ, and showing them his hope and love.
Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Bill Reel, and I am the Senior Regional Director for Young Life in Western Europe, and I'm thrilled to be with you today. I'm so glad you had a chance to listen to these amazing stories from folks like Guy and others like Laura and Joshua Asher and Anna and Luisa. These are the kids of Portugal, and they have shared their hearts with you. We're also thrilled, just as Guy said, I've been doing this for 44 years now, and when I come across extraordinary leaders like Mike and Fiona Mehmet, and they come to a country like Portugal and already in 9 months have had an amazing impact, not only on the kids, the leaders, and the committee, we know we have found someone that's called to a country and called to have an impact in that country for many, many years. I'm here to ask you to invest in a partnership with us with Young Life in Portugal. I would love to ask you to pray for us, as Mike has already asked you to, that you'd pray. We'll need a lot of prayer to not only have a vision for Young Life in Portugal, like Ken Best said, but also not only to impact where we are, but to go to other places, to impact many cities, and to be a part of that. One way to do that, besides praying for us regularly, is to ask you to invest financially. We would like to raise at least $30,000 more to help Mike and Fiona to be financially stable in this country, and it's very important. So without this $30,000 more to raise, we won't have financial stability for them, and they would like to stay in Portugal for a long time. One way you can do that is to really consider giving a monthly gift. We are going to need some of you to prayerfully think about maybe giving $500 a month or $200 a month or $100 a month, or maybe just $50 a month. But anything that you give will have an impact on us reaching that $30,000 goal, which we'd like to do by this fall. Also, you could give a one-time gift, and you could do that annually, and there's a place to do that. I'm asking you this in an urgent matter because the time is now. As you heard through this time, the need in Portugal is an urgent need, and it's a present need. The Christian world in that country is literally decreasing every year. If we don't invest in the young people in this country, the future of the church is in a desperate place. The hope for Christianity to spread in Portugal, as well as Portuguese kids who will go all over the world, has to do with investing in them right now today. Otherwise, we won't have an impact for the future that will affect all the churches in this country, as well as the lives of people. So please prayerfully consider this gift. We're going to give you an opportunity to do that now. We're getting an opportunity for you to be part of the team in Portugal today and to respond to this need, which will impact a country for years. We're going to put up on the screen our giving link. And this is a place that you could either go online, you can write a check, you can give the gift to Portugal Young Life, or we're also going to put up a URL up here in the chat, and you can even click on that URL and you can give, to Young Life today. You could go on. And so we're going to give you some time to prayerfully think about that. Maybe you need some time to take a look at your finances. Maybe you need to talk to your spouse. I always think that's a wise thing to do. But most importantly, you have the opportunity to give to Young Life today by clicking onto this. I'm just going to plead with you to give generously, that we can reach this $30,000 goal, and by doing so, free up the Mehmets to invest all their time in ministry so we can go further with these 8 new leaders, with the excitement we have going. So thank you for considering this today. In a little while, Mike's going to come back and share with you all. But thank you for the time to be with you today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Bill. Did you want to say thank you?
Yes, I would like to say thank you to all the people who are on right now, who are already partnering with us in ministry. And I want your generosity and your faithfulness has really humbled and changed me. This would have been a very difficult journey. It would have been an impossible journey. We wouldn't be broadcasting here from Portugal if it were not for you. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I also look forward to adding more partners to our growing ministry family. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Just to answer a couple questions, there are over 20 international high schools just in the Lisbon area, Markin. Just to answer that. Dr. Dennis, my Portuguese is coming along, but it's coming very slowly. In fact, Fiona's doing great at it. I'm a little bit slower. It's teaching an old dog new tricks, but I'm at it every day trying to get there. So we're working on it. But we just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. We are grateful for each of you, and we say, Bom dia.